We have Stefan, a member of the Barbado militia, known for keeping a cool head at all times, believes that there is courage in knowing when to run from battle and when to stay and fight. Then we have Jacob, a Barbado port resident, watches over the town from its highest rooftop, patiently and systematically keeping an eye out for any invading monsters, is known as Slaff's right-hand man. We have Drake, a member of the Barbado militia, charged with providing escort to those who travel to the city of Manea or Zeppic village. Seems to have his eye on Manea's dancer. Don't we all? Then there's Old Man George, a popular old man from Barbado, known to be very wise, often giving advice to youngsters who've lost their way. Incidentally, he's not bald, rather he apparently shaves his head every day. Then there's Fisherman Batello, a former trader from Barbado port. After the storm wall appeared, trading became impossible, but fishing was more productive than ever. Batello has a real talent for seeing the bright side. We have Fran, a woman living in Barbado, used to be active in silver trade, but has become rather despondent ever since the storm wall appeared. Secretly prays for it to go away every single night. Then we have Arcia, or Arcia. I'm going to go with Arcia, like it's Marcia. Arcia. A woman living in Barbado hasn't heard from her friend in Manea since the monsters first appeared, seriously considering requesting a military escort for a visit to assuage her fears. We have Old Man Pastall, an old man from a long line of dairy farmers, primarily breeds Picards, but hasn't had access to good grazing land since the monsters appeared, so he now operates from Barbado's town square. We have Marco, a wide-eyed youth from Barbado port, put everything he had into becoming the best trader he could be, but then the storm wall came and ruined everything. Now he's just always very sad. Then there's Torrance, a pessimistic young man from Barbado. The sudden troubles in Asteria really shook him up, wants to move to Manea with his family, but always wusses out when he considers the monsters along the way. Then there's Rebecca, Torrance's wife and Danny's mother, born and raised in Barbado, and is a real beach babe at heart, but worries for the safety of her son. Can't decide if moving to Manea is the right decision. Then there's Danny, Barbado's requisite bratty boy. Fascinated by the world outside the town gates, wants to join the military when he grows up, always seen together with the neighbor's daughter, Cheryl. Then there's Cheryl, little girl in Barbado. Her father wants to return to the mainland, but Cheryl is unwilling to leave her buddy Danny behind. Even more of a menace than he always is. Even more of a menace than he is, always plotting an escape to Manea. We have Mason the trader. A trader in Barbado port, lived in the city but came to Asteria with his family to deal in silver. Now with the storm wall, all he thinks about is finding a way back home, away from the madness. We have Sylvia, Mason's wife and Cheryl's mother, outwardly demure, but actually quite a firecracker, does her best to support her family through these difficult times and always remains optimistic. We have Gerald, a bartender in Barbado. Due to the storm wall, his bar gets no new customers these days, despite once being a hopping locale. Constantly dwells on his prior success, which just brings him down. We have Karen, a waitress at the bar in Barbado. Since there are no customers anymore, she has more free time than she knows what to do with. As a result, she's been thinking about joining the military. We have Granny Daria, an old lady from Barbado. Her son and daughter-in-law in Manea want her to move in with them, but she refuses to leave her dear hometown, though she does worry about her mischievous grandchild. We have Rhea. Now we're going to move on to Manea here, a dearly beloved troubadour who plays lovely harmonica music for anyone who will listen. Found herself in Manea and seeks to tighten the spiritual bonds amongst its inhabitants with song. Then we have Prim, a little girl from Manea, born to Julius and Fana. Let's go with Fana. Considers Sarah the fortune teller her best friend and is always looking for the legendary brave soul on Sarah's behalf. We have Fana, a woman from Manea, has been a bit on edge lately with all the rumors of thievery, but takes solace in Manea's safety from monsters. Still, she can't quite bring herself to let her guard down. We have Julius, a man from Manea, has been keeping watch at the city gate to ensure that no children leave the safety of its walls. Spotted a shady man inside the city recently, however, and is concerned. We have Archel, lives with his muscular brother Braun in Manea, but Braun's become hospitalized due to a mining injury, so Archel is all alone now. He visits Braun at the clinic each and every day. Then we have Aurora, daughter of Manea's mayor, always lived a life of frivolity, but now that the cost of commodities has risen, she's been forced to give it up, presently still searching for a new hobby. Then we have Cornell, son of Manea's mayor. Due to his unrestricted freedom growing up, he still acts a bit childish. Hearing doom prophesied by Sarah, the fortune teller, however, sobered him up quite nicely. We have Johann, a boy from Manea, complains that he hasn't been able to play at the big trees in the north since the monsters came, believes climbing one of those trees would be the best feeling in the world. And Hans, a young man from Manea who's become obsessed with Pim, the pawn shop owner, can't wrap his head around how Pim can find an item on the ground yet have the audacity to keep and sell it. Then we have Haystack. What kind of name is that? A carpenter living in Manea, has been exceptionally busy lately due to the influx of immigrants from Barbado, greatly admires Darm Tower for being such an impossible feat of engineering design. Then we have Luca, a boy from Manea. Luca apparently is a boy. Loves it when his grandfather Franz tells him the story of the legendary silver sword. One day hopes to hold it in his own hands and vanquish monsters with it by running into them. Then we have Boss Bangoa, Manea's chief carpenter, is presently searching for one of his men, Donis, who's been grievously slacking on the job and tends to smack some sense into Donis, then drag him right back to work. We should probably check in with him, since we did find Donis. Then we have Orman, Manea's bartender, a man of many muscles, having once worked as a mercenary on the mainland, has become rather concerned by the ongoing thefts around Manea and is thus planning a thief hunt. Then we have Donis, a one-eyed drunkard from Manea, not much to look at, but he has a good heart, and is greatly depressed by the loss of an important item. Should be at work, but fears his boss's fists of fury. We have Garrick, a warrior from Manea, hired by Orman to aid in the thief hunt, has dedicated himself to sampling the world's cuisine and wishes to find the fabled Rhoda seed during his stay in Asteria. And we have Ricardo, the patron of Orman's bar in Manea, who spends every waking hour drinking and gossiping with Cesar, has been a bit depressed as of late due to the hiatus of his beloved troubadour. We have Cesar, a drunkard from Manea, used to be a fan of hard liquor, but has recently discovered the wide world of wine, always compares vintages and fancies himself an expert. Plans to wed soon, even though he's constantly drunk. Then we have Miner Doug, a patron of Orman's bar in Manea, used to work in the silver mine, but after its closure due to demon infestation, he began drinking heavily, and he was already a big drinker to begin with. We have Chest, a patron of Orman's bar in Manea, used to be a tour guide, but has been out of a job since the storm wall first appeared, remains disturbingly optimistic despite his hardships. We have Old Man Franz, an old man from Manea with a great love of Asterian lore, often reads its legends to his grandson Luca as fairy tales. Very close with Sarah the fortune teller and worries for the future. You have Nikki the dancer, a dancer from Manea, wears makeup to appear mature, but only just turned 20. Hates when people wallow in depression, so she dances at Orman's bar in an effort to boost everyone's spirit. We have Dr. Klaus, Manea's resident doctor, has been exceptionally busy ever since the monsters appeared and is more often out and about than in his clinic. A well-reputed, well-liked, and dedicated professional. We have Nurse Lisa, head nurse at Klaus's clinic in Manea, has been handling inpatient care whenever Klaus is out on house calls. Her care and counsel is so desired that many patients pray for a lengthy recovery. How you doing, Nurse Lisa? Then we have Theodore, a young man hospitalized in Manea with injuries from a reball attack, narrowly averted death by escaping to the shade of one of the great trees on the plain. The monsters did not follow. We have Braun, a young man hospitalized in Manea, boasts of his might, so when monsters appeared in the mine, he tried to fight them off, but it didn't go well. Sleeps off his pain, dreaming of naughty things, don't we all? We have Old Man Mash, An old man hospitalized in Manea, he was struck from behind and had his silver shield stolen by an unknown assailant, likely one of the thieves from the mountain region, he believes. Then we have Kane. A patient in Manea's clinic was attacked by reballs on his way to Manea from Zepik and seems to have been traumatized by the experience. Still has nightmares about reballs chasing after him. Then we have Pim, a barterer who runs a shady pawn shop in Manea where all goods, including stolen and lost items, are fair game. Renowned for never lowering his prices, but claims them all to be negotiable. It only takes like 15-20 times. Then we have Charm, a woman from Manea, Franz's daughter and Luca's mother, knows the land's folklore well, just like her father, claims there was once to be a Southgate built in Manea, but the plan was scrapped. We have Buck, a former miner from Manea who lost his job when the monster showed up, tried to resist but was unable, and ever since he's become utterly terrified of the abandoned mine. We have Tabitha, Buck's wife, lives in Manea despite being daughter to the elder of Zepik, is very concerned for her father as he seems gravely troubled, but refuses to discuss it with any of the villagers. We have the mayor, Mayor Marcel, Manea's mayor, a highly trusted figure amongst the townsfolk, but the troubles of late have saddened him. He constantly worries that Manea's walls won't be enough to protect everyone. We have Pamela, Mayor Marcel's wife, offers her husband unconditional support in these trying times, claims that the wall around the city was not a recent construct, but has been there since antiquity. We have Rosity, an attractive middle-aged man who's been running a weapon shop in Manea for many years. Well-versed in combat, can easily discern the combat potential of customers. Dios' father. Then there's Dios. Manea's armorer, so that's why they kind of live together. They're father and son. Obsessed with armor and gets mad if you tell him the best defense is a good offense. Believes instead in survival of the fittest. Son of the weaponsmith, Rosity. We have Old Man Bettel, a Manean resident who once climbed a rhoda tree all the way to its tippy top. Now he's grown old and weak, but thanks to Dr. Klaus, he still is just as chipper as he ever was. Then there's Lydia. Oh, Lydia. Oh, Bettel's young daughter. In search of a boyfriend and isn't very picky about his personality as long as he's handsome, but won't date younger men. Seems to have seen the black-cloaked man. So it is Bettel's daughter, thankfully, and not his wife, like I said, but still kind of creepy that she's like, ooh, look at you. Then you have Freddy, Daria's son, lives in Manea, constantly attempts to convince his mother in Barbado to come live with him in Manea, but she won't hear him out. This has him very troubled. Then there's Martha, Freddy's wife and Johann's mother, lives in Manea, but seems unconvinced that the wall around the city offers any real protection. Feels suffocated by the goings-on throughout Hysteria. Last page here. Old Man Harrison, Charlotte's father and Effie's grandfather, once lived in Roston, but lost his home, his wife, and his son-in-law when monsters attacked from the silver mine there. And there's Charlotte, a woman who lives in Manea after her hometown of Roston was destroyed by monsters, once lost the will to live, but regained it by focusing on her daughter Effie and Rhea's beautiful music. Then there is Effie, a very young girl living in Manea after her hometown of Roston was destroyed, doesn't understand what happened, and thus hopes to return home one day and resume her normal life. And finally there's Sarah, a fortune teller living in Manea, renowned for her startling accuracy, having even predicted the storm wall, and monster invasion. Sees something in Adol, and guides him on a quest to Ys. Alright, that's it for note. I still did want to talk to that boss again. That dumbass has disappeared again. All because he lost some ring he wanted to give to his wife. Anything else? I found him. Well, apparently that is it. That's all that he has to say. I can't necessarily tell him where he is. But with that done, that is going to do it for these parts of Let's Play Ys. When we come back, we'll head out once more now that I have money. I'll have to see if I actually want to purchase something before we leave town or not. I'll take care of that off screen though. Hope you guys have enjoyed these parts. Hope you laughed. Hope you learned. Hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.